Ferrari. It is the greatest racing company of all time, one that is obsessed with getting to and staying at the top of its food chain. And this is the car that kept them at the top of the GT3 food chain for 6 years. The Ferrari 488 GT3. A car with the bragging rights of winning more than half the races it has ever entered. More about this car's rich history and how to handle it on the Imola circuit coming up.
Hi there, my name is Neil. Welcome to my channel. So we are back in Italy. Obviously, this is day 5 of How to Hotlap Imola, which means it's finally the time to take an actual race car, a GT3 race car around the track. Here's the thing, the track we all know as Imola is actually called, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, or Enzo and Dino Ferrari International Circuit. The name of this track contains the name of not only Enzo but also his son, Dino Ferrari. So how can we not bid farewell to this track with a Ferrari? Our weapon of choice today is the Ferrari 488 GT3. More about the car later. First, as always, here's the plan. I'm going to have this 5-lap race with 7 other 488 GT3s, the AI set at 100%, to try and find out what a fast competitive lap time in this car at this track looks like. Then we move on to the hot lapping session, where we target those times that we've seen during the race, try and get somewhat consistent at it. Then we get to the breakdown, where I take the fastest lap from the hot lapping session and get to every details like turn-ins, braking points, exits, stuff like that. As of now, join you at the end of the race. And here we are. These are the race results, and I got the fastest lap as well as purple sector in all 3 sectors. Yay! The fastest lap, as you can see, is a 145.281. Now, that is one blisteringly quick lap time, at least in the default setup, default tires, everything. It's quite a quick time. I am skeptical if I can replicate that during our solo session. The fastest of the AI cars set a time of 146.129, and those times kept dropping to even a 146.9. Anyway, moving on to each sector time. Sector 1 ranged from my 29.5 all the way to 30.1. Yeah. Sector 2, once again purple sector by me, 40.2. Sector 3 ranged from a 34.9 then by me all the way down to 35.5. So yeah, it is what it is. Obviously we won't hit these times right away because this is a race car, so it runs on slicks, needs a lap or two to warm up. So it's better that while we talk about the car, we take it easy, conserve the tires for the actual hot laps. So yeah, before we start, let me show you. I'm using the stock setup, so I'm clicking on reset to default, although everything's already in default. So yeah, the tires are in slick medium. The other options are soft and hard. We're going with the medium. Let's increase the fuel a little bit. Let's go to 60 laps. 60 liters. That should give us about 19 or 20 laps. Now, the electronics are the only things that we're going to fiddle with. Obviously, it's not a mechanical change to the car. It's something the driver can control from the seats, so that's what we are going to do. We're going to leave the ABS at default setting 5. We're going to bump up the traction control from level 3 to 5. Let's start driving now. Right, here we go, starting our session here. As discussed, we're going to take these first few laps easy while we talk about the car, and there are things to talk about. You and me, we all know Ferrari as one of the most desirable car manufacturers, right? They build road cars and they also go racing. They are now back at Le Mans. They've always been in Formula 1, right? Wrong. Well, take a look at Ferrari's history books and you'll soon find that Ferrari was originally just a racing company, and Enzo Ferrari famously and rather reluctantly started selling road cars just so that he could fund his racing program, and for no other reason. Obviously, that worked out quite well. Ferraris today are really desirable. In fact, this thing, the 480 GT3, is actually based on the 480 GTV, which is a road car. And the debut of both these cars were quite remarkable because the man we talked about, Enzo Ferrari, well, he, before he unfortunately died, signed off one last car for Ferrari. That car, the Ferrari F40. Now, why am I bringing that car up? The F40 had a turbo V8 and it also went racing with the same engine. This thing marked the return of a Ferrari turbocharged V8 in competitive racing after about 20 years since the F40. Ironically, it is because of those turbos that the 480 GTB never really got that kind of media attention or at least appreciation like its predecessors, the Ferrari F430 and the 458, both of which have a naturally aspirated Ferrari V8 and sound ungodly. On the racing side of things though, it was quite the other story. This car debuted in 2016 and like all GT3 cars, it was also made available to independent teams from August 2016 up until 2020 when this car was replaced by the 480 GT3 Evo. The GT3 had racked over 300 wins and over 500 podiums. It won over 50% of races it has ever entered and podiumed in over 90% of races. And this is GT3, it's not Formula 1 where Red Bull and Mercedes has dominated for God knows how many decades now. You don't usually see those kind of statistics in the GT3 class. This is meant to be ultra competitive. And then came along Ferrari with its 500 horsepower turbocharged V8 and demolished everything. By the way, 500 horsepower may not seem like much, but this car is light. At under 1.3 tons, this is over 100 kilograms lighter than the 480 GTV. But it's not just fast because of that. As you can see, with just 500 horsepower, it's already going way faster than the Pagani Huayra BC that we tried the last time we came here. There are two reasons. First, the tires. The Pagani ran on road tires while this runs on slicks. Quite obvious stuff. The other thing is downforce. Look at that rear wing. That giant rear wing. That means this car can corner faster than the Pagani you can ever dream of. Now, if you are into motorsports, you're probably getting bored, but for everyone else, those two things, the tires and the downforce, they form the biggest difference between any road car and its racing counterparts. By the way, the 480 GT3 Evo that we just talked about, that car has now also been retired early this year, being replaced by the 296 GT3. Time will tell how successful that car turns out to be, but here's another statistics. By the end of the 480 GT3 program, the regular GT3 and the Evo collectively had racked up over 500 wins. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any other GT3 car has that kind of record. When if Ferrari sends some of its staff from the GT3 program to its F1 team, their cars will probably lap the RB19 twice during the entire race length. For all we know, this is one of, if not the most successful modern Ferrari race car. Alright, I think the plan of preserving the tires didn't work. I'm not finding anywhere near the pace that I'm supposed to, so I'm going to restart the session with fresh tires, chase down the target lap times, and yeah, let's do this again. awkward. I forgot to refill the fuel when I started this session. And as a result, we are in lap number 9 and we got a fuel warning. Let's see, I should be able to complete 10 laps and I already have a pretty decent lap. Right, that's it. Unfortunately, we can't afford to do any more. We are basically running on fumes here. This thing carries 30 liters of fuel by default and all ran out in just, what, 10 laps? My god. Anyway, it is what it is. We've got a couple of decent lap times. Let's go look at them now. And here they are. The fastest lap was a 145.882. Not quite my 145.3. This lap is what, 0.6 seconds slower than that. So yeah, still pretty close. Faster than all the other AI cars that were running in the race. All the laps apart from lap number 7. This lap is marked as red. It's invalidated. I went off track limits. There was a penalty. Apart from that, every other lap was under 147, which was exactly what we were looking to do. Barring the first lap, cold tires. Anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with this session. Anyway, let's take a close look at lap number 4 now. Here's the breakdown.
Full throttle across the line on the start-finish straight to start the lap. Flat out through turn 1, coming up is turn 2, 3 and 4. Brake right past the orange marker at the end of the wall on the right. Release brakes at the entry of turn 2. Modulator throttle around turn 3. Flat out through turn 4. Coming up is turn 5 and 6. Brake at the 50 marker on the right. Short burst of acceleration from 5 to 6 and brake hard again. Keep to the left, use both the inner and outer curbs for apex and exit. Coming up is turn 7, brake at the 50 marker. Release at the entry, look for a late apex and flat out at the exit. Keep the throttle pinned through turn 8, coming up is turn 9. Brake at the 50 marker once again, carry momentum and use the exit curbs. Flat out through turn 10, coming up is turn 11, 12 and 13. Again, brake at the 50 marker on the left, release at the entry of turn 11, short burst of acceleration, then again brake hard. Be gentle with your throttle at the exit, flat out through turn 13. Coming up is turn 14 and 15, the chicane. Hit your brakes right past the 50 marker. Again, release at the entry, use both the inner curbs of the chicane, look for late apex out of turn 15. Be gentle with your throttle at the exit. Flat out through turn 16, coming up is turn 17 and 18. Brake right past the 100 marker on the right. Carry your brakes into the corner, release at entry, use both the inner and outer curbs. Dab off brakes for turn 18, again use the inner curbs and gently accelerate out. Flat out through the final corner, turn 19, as the glorious Ferrari Turbo V8 propels you past the start-finish line at 145.882.
So that's it for today. Now this video was uploaded after over a year-long break. There were a lot of things going on. I moved back to my hometown. I had this setup built myself and I happen to live in a place where all this stuff is not really easy to come by. Let's just leave it at that. It takes time, and so yeah, it took its own time to make all of this happen. And finally this channel is up and running again, so thank you for joining back. Don't forget to share your thoughts about this video down in the comment box below. Also, if you have a favorite car or track that you want to be featured in this channel, let me know about those as well and I shall try to cover them. While you're down there, consider subscribing and turning on the notification. Share this video with your friends and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, drive hard, drive safe. Take care.